break rolling on. Last night, we saw a little bit of history with Cal Raleigh winning the home run derby, the first catcher to do it, first Mariner since Griffey. Tonight, we get the All-Star Game. Yo, National League, get your ish together. Yes, the American League leads the series all-time 48-44. Doesn't sound too bad. However, the AL has won 10 of the last 11. They're also 22-4-1 since 1997. So does the National League even have a chance? I don't know. Let's ask Jim Bowden here, getting us ready for the All-Star Game coming up tonight. Scuba on the mound for the American League. You talked to him. You talked to Paul Skeens. We'll talk about that in a second. Scuba on the mound. How are you feeling about it? What do you have to say?
Yeah, you know, Scuba's the best pitcher on planet Earth right now, and I can't wait to watch him. But I think the listeners and the viewers need to know one thing. If you want to see Scuba and Skeens, you better tune in early because both of them are only going one inning. And that's it. It's not like 3 or 4 years ago when the starters were going 2 or 3 innings. So they're going one inning, and that's it. You know, with Scuba, it's funny because I asked him, I said, what's it like when you're on the mound and you're throwing your 98 at the top of the zone and the hitters are 3 inches under it, and then you follow that with your 90 changeup down and away, and they're swinging like a foot over it? I'm like, you know, do you ever sit there and, like, smile? And he put the biggest smile on his face, and he goes, you know what's funny? Is after the fact I do smile at it, but he said at the time I have so much adrenaline that I don't think at all. And if I have to think, then I'm in trouble. I just go and execute my pitches. So, you know, we're talking about a guy that's got 153 strikeouts, Amanda, 16 walks, with a FIP of 2.01 fielding independent pitching. It has been incredible to watch him, and I just can't wait to see him tonight right out of the get-go. And it's funny because Dave Roberts did his lineup and put Marte in the 3rd spot because he said left-handed hitters have 0 chance of getting hit off him. So instead of putting Lindor there, he decided to put Marte there after Ohtani and Acuna. It's going to be very interesting to me to watch that matchup, Scuba against Marte in the 1st inning.
Okay, so there are some strategies here. You mentioned that he doesn't think a lot when he's pitching. Something he is going to be thinking about. You actually talked to him about it. Everybody's going to be talking about it. We're going to call them the robo-umps, the automatic strike system. Did I say that right? However they're calling it, whatever fancy name they're using. How's this going to work? What do we need to know? Can I yell at a robot? What's the deal?
Yeah, Amanda, look, I think it's the biggest storyline tonight, right? Because it's the first time on a big stage that the ABS system is going to work, and they're planning on implementing it next year. So the world is going to get to see what it's going to be like. And I can't wait for the sellout crowd, the millions of people that are going to be watching on television, to be able to see how it plays. Now, I asked Tarek Skubal directly. I said, if the umpire misses one of your strikes, are you going to sit there and immediately challenge it? And it was interesting what he said. He said, look, I think every pitch I throw is a strike, so I'm not going to be challenging anything. I'm going to leave that up to my catcher to make that decision because otherwise I'd be challenging every pitch that the umpire called the ball. I got a big kick out of it, but I also understood what he was saying. Yeah, and also the managers. We'll see how they handle it as well. Let's go through the American League lineup. As I mentioned, the AL has dominated the past 11 years. You have Cal Raleigh, who won the Derby last night. Aaron Judge. I mean, how dominating are these bats going to be for the AL? Yeah, I mean, look, they're the 2 best hitters in the game. I mean, it's amazing when you think of, you know, Cal Raleigh has 38 homers and 82 RBIs at the All-Star break. He's on pace to break the all-time home run record for switch hitters. Mickey Mantle had 54 homers. He already has broken the record for the most home runs at an All-Star break. He will soon break the record for the most home runs ever by a catcher. That's the kind of year. And he won the home run derby last night. And then you talk about Aaron Judge, all rise with his 35 homers and 81 RBIs right on the heels of Raleigh. And the other thing about both of those players that doesn't get talked about enough is how good they are defensively, right? I mean, Cal Raleigh is in the 84th percentile in pitch framing as well as caught stealing. And Aaron Judge, although he won't win the Gold Glove in right field, probably the Red Sox right fielder Wilyer Abreu wins that award, he is Gold Glove caliber. So I can't wait to see them. What's going to be fascinating in that 1st inning, right, is how quickly Paul Skeens is able to get 3 outs. He is not planning on facing Raleigh. And if you remember last year, he ended up facing 4 batters. And so this time around, his hopes is to get Torres, Green, and Judge out so he doesn't have to face Raleigh. But that is definitely going to be a storyline there in the first inning for Skeens.
Yeah, I love it. Let's talk a little bit more about that, because you saw Cal Raleigh hitting cleanup there. I mean, maybe he does, in fact, get to him. I don't know if he can go 3 up, 3 down, back-to-back starts for Paul Skeens, who is kind of the face of baseball right now. What are his thoughts? Anything else from talking to him that were some of your big takeaways?
Yeah, I mean, he's just going to throw gas right out of the get-go is what he said. He's going to go right and attack the hitters. You know, he's sitting there with 7 different pitches, right? And we all love the splinter that he has. I mean, it's such a great out pitch. But I got the impression from him that he's going to pump that 98.2 mile an hour average fastball right at the strike zone and go right at them. His plan is 3 up, 3 down. That's what he says he's going to do. He says he's going to fill up the strike zone and then walk off the field, and his night will be done, and he'll celebrate the rest of the night. So it's going to be fun. I mean, you can't ask for a better pitching matchup between Skubal and Skeens. And of course, we all know, you know, he's starting the All-Star game in his first 2 years in the big leagues. That's just an incredible accomplishment.
Okay, don't give me your pick to win yet. See, you can't give it away, but I do need your analysis of the National League, their favorites. I don't know if you think they should be favorites. Maybe. We talked about all the star power on the bats on the side of the American League. They have lost 10 of their last 11. How do you kind of see this playing out for the National League tonight?
I like the National League roster better than the American League roster.
Okay.
That doesn't mean they're going to win. I think we're going to have a low-scoring game because I think the pitching on both sides is dominant. I'm looking at a 3-2 score. And, yes, I think the National League's going to win. You know, this is the 4th time manager Dave Roberts of the Dodgers has managed the NL All-Star team. He is 0-3. Are you telling me Dave Roberts is never going to win an All-Star game? I mean, come on, it's his 4th time. So I kind of feel like the National League has the better team. I kind of feel like it's going to be a low-scoring game. And, yeah, I think the National League should win. And, by the way, Vegas agrees with me right now.
They do agree with you. So I don't actually know the odds for MVP. If they do win, who do you think gets it?
So I don't think it's going to be any of the starting players, right? Last year we saw the Red Sox, Jaron Duran win it in Arlington, Texas. The year before, Elias Diaz won it in Seattle. It's usually, when it's a close game, it's usually someone that wins the game late. And the way it's structured, like, you know, we're only going to see Judge for 2 at-bats. At least that's what Aaron Boone, the manager of the Yankees, told me. We're only going to see Ohtani for a couple at-bats. So I kind of feel like it's going to be someone that's not starting. So because I have the National League winning 3-2, Amanda, I'm going to go with somebody near the end of the game. And I think when they put Fernando Tatis Jr. in from for the hometown favorite, Ronald Acuna Jr., I think Tatis is going to win the game for the National League, and I think he's going to end up being the MVP. But I'll tell you the other big story tonight, just real quick, 3 of them that I'm excited about. Number 1, all the players are going to wear their own uniforms. We haven't seen that for 6 years. I am so excited because that's how I grew up watching All-Star games. Number 2, thanks to the legend pick by Commissioner Manfred, Clayton Kershaw is going to pitch the 2nd inning, but watch quickly because he's only going to get 2 outs before Dave Roberts brings in Jason Adam. At least that's what Dave Roberts told me yesterday. And then, of course, in the 7th inning, the big story is going to be Jake Mizorowski. He's going to pitch the 7th inning for the National League. I can't wait to see that 102. How about pitching in 5 games and boom, suddenly you're in an All-Star game? It's going to be so fun tonight, Amanda.
I was about to say shortest amount of games ever started by somebody in the All-Star game. I think it's going to be fun. I don't mind that he's in it. If you guys want to get into it on social media, if he should be in the All-Star game or not, whatever. It's going to be a great game. Jim, thank you for everything. I guess I'll cheer for the National. Man, I don't know. Like, it's hard. It's hard. It's hard, Jim. It's hard. My team is not in the National League. Taking a look at the odds to win MVP, Shohei Ohtani sitting as the favorite, followed by Aaron Judge at plus 750. But that is not the favorite for Jim. It is Fernando Tatis Jr. saying he's going to do something big toward the end of the game.
The 95th edition of the MLB All-Star Game gets underway tonight at 8 p.m., and we're going to have fun in that first inning with National League starter Paul Skeens having to navigate a gauntlet of an AL lineup, which includes 7-time All-Star Aaron Judge. Skeens' ERA is just a hair above 2 right now, while Judge's 35 home runs, the most by a Yankee player ever before the All-Star break. Now, incredible first half for these 2 guys. All rise for Judge, who is leading the bigs in average and OPS. And while you're at it, stay standing for Skeens, who's got that 2.01 ERA, as I mentioned. Now, some run support would help Buccos. Come on, guys. Skeens has allowed 2 runs or fewer in 17 of his 20 starts this season. We're going to bring back Julian McWilliams, who, of course, is in Atlanta for the Midsummer Classic. We're going to keep it PG, Brandon, as we go through this segment. Judge and Skeens have met twice before, once in the regular season, once in last year's All-Star Game, and Skeens struck him out twice. So what do you make of this matchup? Third time the charm for the Yankee slugger?
Power against power, skill against skill against skill, talent against talent. I mean, if you're talking about 2 of the better players in baseball at their positions, those are the 2 guys, right? You're looking at Paul Skeens, the upper 90s fastballs can get up to 100. He's a guy that can hold his velocity in games. And then Aaron Judge, he's on pace for what, 55-plus home runs? I expect it to be as electric as advertised, and those 2 guys are going to go at it.
Speaking of electric, Jacob Mizrowski making the All-Star Game. We know he can throw hard, but this has drawn some blowback across the league. Phillies outfielder Nick Castellanos said this game is turning into Savannah Bananas because, of course, the Miz only has 5 appearances. What do you make of him getting an All-Star nod? Do you think this is cool?
I don't think it should have happened, right? I think you have to have a little bit more skin in the game for you to be able to have that. Look, he's a great pitcher. I think he's going to be a multiple-time All-Star. You know, obviously a guy that has great stuff up there with Paul Skeens in terms of you talk about stuff for stuff. And I get that this is an entertainment business, but there are players that earn this stuff too, right? There are players that have things in their contracts that say, hey, if he makes the All-Star game, he gets a bonus or something of that nature. Those things matter when you're looking at an entire resume. So when you're letting this guy in, and I know he's a supreme talent, there's nothing to take away from him. You're dismissing what's another guy's contract. You're dismissing what they've done on the field, and ultimately, yes, this is an entertainment business, but it's a reward business more so than anything. And I think that's what we love about baseball the most.
And quick follow-up: you think he's actually going to make an appearance in the game? You think Dave Roberts puts him in?
Maybe not. Right? I wouldn't be surprised if not, and I'm gonna go with no. And I'll say no is because a lot of guys don't get to experience that. And he's going to make a few more All-Star games, I believe. He'll be just fine.
Yeah, all right, we'll see if he actually gets in there. Dave Roberts may try to put him in. But let's move over to Dave Roberts' actual pitcher, and that's Clayton Kershaw. He could be making his final appearance. He's obviously got a storied career. How do you think he's going to be celebrated in this game and throughout the night, really?
What I've noticed about Dodgers fans in the last 2-3 years or so, especially after they've created this behemoth of a team, is that their fans travel. And there are a lot of Dodgers fans here in Atlanta, more than I thought I would see. I expect it to be an electric atmosphere for him. I mean, we're talking about an inner circle Hall of Famer, right? When you think about Koufax, when you think about Bob Gibson, when you think about all those guys, when you think about Roger Clemens and all these other guys, you think about Clayton Kershaw, right? He's up there. He's that good. And I think if you're looking at somebody who spent his entire career at a place, we don't see that, right? There's rare Derek Jeters. There's rare Kobe Bryants. I think that's why those guys are celebrated more so than anything is because you look up and you say, he did it with one franchise the entire time. That means something. And for him to be with the Dodgers, one of the premier franchises in all of sports, that means a lot. So I expect it to be an electric atmosphere and probably an emotional one, too.
It would be cool to see if he gets out there on the mound just one more time in an All-Star game. Obviously a storied career, and as you mentioned, he's walking in the Hall of Fame. Now, there are some fun prop bets out there for this game, Julian. I want to run through them. And let's start with the pitching and pitching velocity. If you had to pick a range here for Paul Skeens' first pitch, where are you putting him on the radar gun? Because you can put wagers on all these velocities, whether it's like 98 to 100 miles per hour. So how fast do you think he comes out of the gate?
He has to come out with a fastball, right? If he comes out with like one of his sliders or sweepers, I think that would be the most disappointing thing of the evening, right? So I put him in a range of 98 to 100. He can get it up there. He can reel in his velocity, but when you're going mano against Aaron Judge and all those guys, or whomever's at the top of the lineup, you're gonna have to come hard in the paint here, and I think he's gonna be able to do that.
Yeah, plus 210 there for Paul Skeens to hit 99 or greater on the radar right out the gate. Well, what about the Miz? You know, there's going to be all this hype and hoopla around him because of the controversy. I think he's going to come out throwing heat. That's just basically got to be the MO for him, right? If he's actually going to make an appearance here.
Yeah, I got him at 100 to 102. I think that guy, he's a little bit more, he has a little bit more Similac on his breath than Paul Skeens, I think. When you're talking about a guy who's here, he'll be amped up. The place will be amped up, and I think if he's gonna come in, because a lot of people have something to say, and probably and rightfully so, right? They've had friends and players and teammates that have missed out on an All-Star appearance, and it's nothing to take away from Mizorowski. But if you're looking at all of this and you're saying if he's not going to come out throwing hard, then what is he going to do? So I have him 100 to 102.
Yeah, we'll see if he tips the scales there. All right, now we did have a fun one. We noticed there's a lot of juniors in this game. So check out this next prop bet, and this is for a junior to hit a home run. There are 4 juniors: Ronald Acuna Jr., Vlad Guerrero Jr., Fernando Tatis Jr., and of course, Junior Caminero. All of them at plus 1,200 to hit a home run, with the exception of Ronald Acuna. Ronald Acuna at plus 900 to hit a home run in his hometown park. So if you had to pick a junior, Julian, where are you going on this list to hit a home run?
Oh, it's Ronald Acuna Jr. all the way. And that was my pick to actually win the home run derby until he pulled out of it. I think when you're talking about raw power, I was speaking to his hitting coach, Tim Hires, a few weeks ago, and he's saying he's never seen a player with the opposite field power like Ronald Acuna Jr. It's that special, right? And he doesn't necessarily have a load, right? He just uncoils and just is so strong and can hit it the other way that it's something that's special to watch. And he's probably one of the most talented, if not the most talented player in all of baseball. And I think you're looking at a guy, he's in his hometown, he's gonna be hyped up around hyped up around the crowd, hyped up around his teammates, the organization. He knows that ballpark. I'm going with Ronald Acuna Jr.
All right, and finally, Jazz Chisholm. Can we get some home run derby redemption? He can't go out like that. Just 3 home runs last night. He's plus 1,100 to hit a home run tonight. For you, is that worth the fly? You're talking about the Miz trying to go up on the radar gun. I got to imagine this guy's going to be swinging for the fences after yesterday.
I know, and the one thing you always can to know for Jazz is that he's a guy that loves the moment, right? And I know, obviously, the home run derby was not his moment, but the fact that he even did it, there are a lot of guys that don't even do it, right? We're talking about some guys like that are like LeBron James and won't do the dunk contest, right? Because they're scared of just being beat. At least Jazz Chisholm's out there trying to do it, even though he lost and sort of made a fool of himself. But those guys don't care. I expect him to come in and do what he has to do. And again, in-game power is a lot different than raw power.
All right, thanks, Julian. A lot of fun there last night with the home run derby, and of course, everything on deck we talk about just now with the All-Star Game itself. Enjoy the rest of your time there in Atlanta and ignore Brandon at all costs. You're our MVP of this segment, but let's check out the odds to win All-Star Game MVP. Shohei Ohtani at plus 550, followed by Aaron Judge plus 750. Those are your top 2. And Acuna, who we just talked about a second ago, plus 1,100. We'll see if he can get it done for the ATL and the Braves at home at Truist Park. Again, the All-Star Game getting going at 8 p.m. Eastern.